Hey everyone, this is Dami, and today I'm going to be doing a review on a book that I read. And this is really new for me because, as you guys know, I have never done a review for a book. And honestly, it's because most of the invites that I get for books are boring. So I like educational books. I want a book that teaches me something or, is informative, like a biography, educational book. Something, I don't know, something that's going to be worthwhile. I can't read books with fictitious stories, okay, because I feel like it's just wasting my time. I could be doing, spending my time doing something that is worthwhile, period. So, anyway, on Thomason, I got an invite to review this book, and I really was about to just delete it. But the title caught my attention, and the title is There Are No Fools, Why We End Up Where We Should. So I was like, that sounds pretty interesting. So I went ahead and read the description and all that stuff, and it really sounded interesting. So I said, well, let me go online and research the book and, see what other people are saying about this book. And it had pretty good reviews. So I was like, well, maybe I'll go ahead and do this. I mean, this is the first time I'm doing a review for, a book, and this is something new. I like to try something new and different. So why not? And I think it was only like 2,000 something pages. I think it was less than 2,500 pages. So anyway, so I applied. They accepted me. I was like, cool, awesome. Now, this is kind of like a fictitious story, but it was so informative. I mean, to me, this is educational. It was educational and informative, I have to say. This book should be read by everyone. I don't care if you're in high school, if you're in college, got children, you're an adult, you're an old person, whatever. This book is just really, really good. I feel like... Now I'm going to tell you all about the book and give you all the information, because it'll be pointless, because I'm going to put the link at the bottom and tell you to go get the book, okay? So I'm not going to, tell you everything. But anyway, like I said, the book's really informative, and I feel like this book kind of puts us in our place. It teaches us something about ourselves, about other people, and I feel like this book really helps us as Americans, because I'm American, helps us Americans kind of understand that what we view as success and happiness is not what everybody else around the world views as success and happiness. And, it's very difficult, even for me, to, understand why would somebody not want to live in a big, beautiful home with like 3-car garage and fancy stuff and drive like a fancy car. And it's very difficult for me to understand that because, since I was young, I mean, society tells us, you gotta go to school, get an education, get a good job, work hard, keep working, and, you need to get rich and, get all this fancy stuff, get designer this and get designer that. And so we find ourselves working like a dog just to get to it. But we're kind of pretty much told what lifestyle is better than the other. So, we're told in this country, if you live in the projects and you're getting food stamps and assistance, you're poor, you're unhappy, you're not worthwhile, and, your life has no meaning. And they say if you live in a big fancy house and have nice cars and can travel whenever you want, well then, you've made it in life. And, you're happy, you're successful. Your life is meaningful. And that's the honest truth, okay? That's the honest truth. That's pretty much what they tell you. Maybe not to your face or, out loud, but you read in between the lines, that's what they're saying. And this book just lets you know that, no, there's no difference between those people. And it doesn't matter what your life is like. Whether you're somebody who is a, president of a corporate, corporate firm, or, if you're somebody who's driving the city bus back and forth all day. It doesn't matter if you're, somebody who's devoted to the church. You devote all your time to the church, or, you devote, all your time to, something else, music or whatever. There's no difference. And I really enjoyed this book. I really, really did. Like, I'm really excited that I'm just happy that I gave myself, a push to, review something other than everything else I've reviewed. So anyway, like I was saying, this book really teaches that it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter your race, your religion, your color, your wealth. We are all the same. And what makes one happy doesn't make the other person happy. For instance, and I'm going to use this. My husband loves books. I mean, I feel like he loves books more than he loves me, to be honest. Half the time I feel like I'm in competition with books, okay? But it makes him so happy when he goes into Barnes and Noble. I've never seen anybody happy. Like, he needs to be the spokesperson for Barnes and Noble, because wherever we go, no lie, it don't matter where we are, what state we're in, whatever. If there's a Barnes and Noble, we are not allowed to get back in that car and drive off until he gets to that Barnes and Noble. But it makes him so happy. Like, his face lights up. He could just live in Barnes and Noble. Just give him some coffee, some snacks, and just let him live there. He would live in Barnes and Noble. No lie. That makes him happy. That drives me freaking nuts. I can only go to Barnes & Noble but so many times, especially if it's the same one. I'm like, the books that they had 2 days ago are the same books that they have today. But it makes him happy, It just brightens him up. For me, okay, for me, I absolutely love anything dealing with, like, music, because I do write music, I play instruments, and, I mean, I literally will light up. I love going to music festivals. It makes me super, super happy. Like, I absolutely love it. Like, I have my piano, and I literally can stay in a room all day and just play my piano and write music and not even come out. I mean, there's times that I've actually realized I didn't eat, because it's just like, I'm just in it. And so that's something that I love. And he just is like, I don't understand. Like, that doesn't make sense. Why would you stay in the room all day with a piano? Like, that's no fun. That makes me happy, okay? And now, with both of us, when it comes to businesses, something that makes us both happy. Anytime it's something with business, I mean, it's something that we both share. We both love. We love investing. We love, starting new businesses. And it's something that makes both of our eyes light up. So when we start talking about business, if anybody's, like, around us, it's probably, like, best to just leave, not come back. We'll call you. That's it. Because once we get in that conversation, there is no stopping us. So the main point is that there are things that make him happy and things that make me happy. And then there are things that we share that make each other happy. We both love it and makes us both happy. And it's the same thing as, for example, in the book, they also traveled to other countries. It's the same thing, whereas, here, I live in a home, we have cars, have our cars, and, to somebody in a village somewhere else, this would be excessive. They'd be like, why do you live in this big home? It's just you and your husband and your dogs. Why do you have all this, For them, they live in a little village, in a little home, that might not be all like spectacular. It might look kind of jacked up, but, and they might not have a car. They might ride their bike to work, which work might be a meat market, but they're so happy in life because they can provide for their family. Their family has everything they could possibly think of, when it comes to food. They're not really thinking of luxuries. People around there really may not have luxuries. I mean, You may never see a Tesla, a Ferrari, or Bugatti around there. You come to America, I mean, you see a Tesla, like, nobody's gonna, like, get around the Tesla and peer in. It's like, oh, look, a Tesla. Cool. That's whatever. Because we're accustomed to that. Seeing somebody drive a Tesla, we look at them and say, ooh, that person's successful. I want to be like them. But for what? For what reason? Whereas somebody in another country, they might look and say, well, why'd you spend all that money on a Tesla when your work is just here? You could take your bike and ride to work. Why do you need such a fancy car? Or they might say, well, why do you need a Tesla? Why don't you just get a Kia or a Toyota? And so what makes us happy and all these luxuries and stuff that we have don't make no damn sense to people on the outside. They're just like, that doesn't make sense. You're wasting money. And, material things, we're taught that material things makes us happy. And in a lot of countries, family, okay? Family and being able to provide for your family and having all the necessities that you need, having a roof over your head, food on your table, clean clothes, and a job. That is pure happiness to a lot of people. And for us, we're just like, well, yeah, that's cool and all, but, you don't want to travel. Like, for us, we're like, we want to travel. We want to go all these places and go to fancy hotels, go to fancy clubs, drive fancy cars, have a fancy house, fancy clothes, and it's just insane. I guess, like I said, you have to read the book, okay? But it just really teaches that just because what makes us happy, what makes you happy, doesn't mean the next person is... What makes you happy is not going to make the next person happy. That's what I'm saying, okay? And so, I guess we all have to, like, remember that, not everybody is the same. And happiness, not everybody is the same, but at the end of the day, yes, we are all the same. Because we all do something, we all have something, just anything, that makes us happy, okay? And we have no right to judge somebody else because of what makes them happy. Meaning, if somebody is completely happy living in a semi-dilapidated home, okay, and riding the bike to work and providing for their family or having enough food or, taking care of, their husband and making sure clothes are clean and stuff, and socializing with neighbors on their little street, if that makes them happy, then hell, that makes them happy. We don't have any right to go in and say, no, that, you're unhappy. You need more. I mean, it is the truth. And, we're brainwashed. Honestly, we are completely brainwashed. And it's sad because I'm one of those brainwashed people. Meaning that, and it's sad because one thing that I noticed, like, the more you have in life, the more you want. And it's different when you're in these places where everybody is, nobody's richer, nobody's poor, but everybody's working together. Everybody, is pretty much making the same money and living the same lifestyle. You don't have that competition. You don't have people stressing out, to try to get rich. And then, like, one of the things he says in the book is that not everybody's going to be rich. Because not everybody is meant to be rich. Everybody has their own path in life, okay? And, for example, sometimes people will say, and I'm sure you guys have heard this, if you have a GED, you drop out of high school and get your GED, you're not going anywhere. You're a failure. You're never going to succeed. You're never going to make money. You're just a low life, period. You go to college and get you a degree or get your master's degree. Oh, you're going to be somebody. You're going to be successful. You're going to have a lot of money. And now, we all know that's bullshit, okay? Because I used to think college, when people went to college, I was like, man, I'm around some really intelligent people because they're in college. And, when I got there, I realized that college people are dumb as hell. They're fools. Okay, I know this book says there are no fools, but I think college people are fools. Honestly. Because sometimes I question how they even got there. But anyway, my main point is, and I'm just going to say this from experience, I know somebody who has a GED, and they were successful before they even got their bachelor's degree. And they were young. They were living it up. They were very successful, okay? They didn't have to work. They could, go wherever they wanted. If they wanted to hop on a plane and go across the world to another country, they could. They had a GED. I know people that graduated college. I know people that graduated with a bachelor's degree and people that graduated with a master's degree just, working at Walmart. No offense, just saying. Or, for those of you guys who don't know what Walmart is, working at, the supermarket. They have degrees. So then you have to ask, who's better than who? Really? And if you say the person with the degree is better than the person with the GED, then something's wrong with you. Because nobody's better than anybody. It's just that everybody took a certain path in life, and some people took a path that just wasn't meant for them. And there's, like you said, there's no difference between somebody with a GED and somebody with a bachelor's or a master's degree or a doctorate's degree at that. You are, and one of the things he says, you are where you chose to be. And I say that all the time. I tell people that is one thing I live by. I live by it. Okay? And the reason why I say that is because, especially in this country, I have to say it really bothers me when I hear people say that they can't make it. Or, they're struggling because the government won't let them make it, or they're struggling because, it's hard out here. You are where you chose to be. For example, okay, I'm originally from New York City. And there's no way in hell you couldn't pay me to go back there unless you're going to pay for me to live in a nice house, drive cars, and pay for my transportation and everything. I probably still wouldn't move. Okay? But anyway, I'm from New York City, and it's expensive. It's really expensive to live there. It's very expensive. I mean, I question how people make it, And now that I'm living here in North Carolina, I mean, it's the lifestyle. It's still cityfied because I'm, pretty much in the city area. But it's very easy to make it here. Very easy. Okay. The cost of living, not compared to New York City, which is why so many city people are moving here. So, for example, a $200,000 home here in North Carolina is going to cost you some millions, okay, in New York City. And as far as jobs, they're constantly bringing jobs here. So that goes back to saying, me saying that people have a choice. And the reason why I say that is because I've spoken to a lot of people back home, and I'm hearing them say it's hard out here, it's difficult out here, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, no, I completely agree. I understand. So why don't you move? And they say, well, I don't have the money to move. And then I see, and I'm just saying, Facebook, they got stuff where they post that they bought a bunch of alcohol. They got Jordans. They buy all this fancy stuff. And it's like, so designer stuff. Okay, all the stuff, people think they, need to have. And I'm like, it's all about priorities and determination, which is one of the key things they talk about in the book. People get places, get to where they want to be if they are determined. So, for example, if you want to be a lawyer, you have to be determined. That's the only way you're going to get to be a lawyer. Nobody's just going to be like, bam, here you go, here's your paper, you're a lawyer now. No, you have to take the necessary steps and be determined. You have to do what you have to do to get there, if you really want to get there. And so, it goes back to, me saying that there's these people, I know them, and I know they could succeed, but they have the mindset that, and it's that, when you live someplace a long time, it's very difficult to branch away. Understandable. But it's all about choice. And I know people who, they're not working the best job anyway, meaning that they're not in their careers. They just have a job, not a career. And, they're either still home with their parents, which is understandable. We're still young. Or, they're living in places that I wouldn't live in. But that's because, it's like I said, it's very expensive up there. You kind of have no choice. And you think about how much money they're paying to live there, and you're like, do you know where you could live if you moved here? Seriously? Like, you don't have to live like that. Life doesn't have to be difficult. And not saying for them to move here. I mean, there's just so many places around this country they can move. Okay? And like I said, it's all about choice. So when I hear people say, oh, this is difficult, that's difficult, I'm like, it's as difficult as you make it. Okay? Point blank. Seriously. And that's one of the things that this book touches base on. You are where you chose to be, and that's just, it's just a fact, and it's so funny because I kept thinking to myself, there was a time where, there was a time where I was just like, I want this, I want that, I want to do this. And I've always been determined. Like, I've always kind of known what I wanted. There's a lot of people that still don't know what they want to do with their life, and that's fine. Everybody's different. Again, everybody's different. Nobody's the same. But just because somebody doesn't know what they want to be in life after they get out of school doesn't make them a fool. We're all different. I've always known what I want to do, and even then, if I felt like I didn't know what I want to do, I was like, well, I can always just start a business, because there's tons of businesses, you can do. You can there's ways to make money, period, end of story. And so, but that doesn't make me any better than the next person, And there's just so many different topics that this book touches base on, and it's just probably all, like, jumbled in this video, and you're just probably like, what the hell is she talking about? And that's because I'm all over the place. So it's just, I'm giving you the information that's in the book, kind of, without really giving you the information. Okay? It's gonna be pointless for you to buy the book. But just touching base and just kind of, saying from my experience why I think the book is really good. And honestly, I took this book and I did apply it to my life, and about, just my past and the present. Like me, one of the things they say is happiness. What makes you happy doesn't make the other person happy, And I find myself happy but unhappy at the same time. And the reason why I say that is because there's so many luxuries that I still don't have that I feel like I want, and that's because they're here. They're in reach. We can get them if we do this. And so I stress myself out. I work hard to get there so I can get that. But what I realize is that every time I've gotten to a place in my life, that I was trying to reach to get that happiness, I'm happy, but then I want more. So I'm kind of unhappy because then I don't have that. And I'm like, well, I'm going to work and do what I got to do. And I want to reach right there because then I'm going to be happy. And then I reach there and I'm like, yeah, but, I have this, but that's where I really need to be. So it's just constant. It's just going and going and going and going. And then you have these people in other countries, they're in villages, and, they got food, they got water, a roof over their head, a family, friends, laughter, love, They have all this stuff, and they are so happy, happier than I am, you know? And I'm just like, how could you be happy living in a house that looks dilapidated? You know, that's not happiness. But again, you know, what's happiness to me is not happiness to them. And they don't, one thing we often forget is that, you know, every place outside of this country that you go, and that's why I say I think everybody should leave the country. I don't care what you do, okay? Everybody needs to leave America and go to another country. And Canada does not count, okay? I'm tired of people telling me that, oh, I went out the country and I went to Canada. Shut up. No. No. Just stop. Just stop. Really. Go out the country. Meaning, like, go somewhere. Like, go to Japan or go to, like, England. Go to Spain. I don't know. Just go someplace else. Because that's when you will understand that happiness means something different in every place. You understand? And you will go there with the mindset of, these people are dumb. These people, you know, they live like crap. Well, not all of them live like crap, but I mean, they might not live the lifestyle that you're accustomed to. You know, they living like this and they're okay with it. What's wrong with them? Don't they want better in life? Don't they want to do this? You work where? I would never work there. You know, we just have this mindset, you know? And, you know, to them, that they've achieved, you know, they've achieved everything they want to achieve. They're successful. And, you know, I think once you go out of the country and realize that this is what happiness is to these people, you will understand why. And you will come back home with a completely different mindset. And yeah, don't get me wrong, you'll still have that, you know, arrogant American mindset that, you know, hey, I'm still better than you because I got this or that, or, you know, whatever. You'll still have a little bit of that, honestly. But you'll have a better understanding. And I feel like if you read this book and you've been out the country, you will be with me 110%. And you will, you know, not to say that people who haven't been out the country won't appreciate this book, but for those of you guys who have been out the country and, you know, I think you guys will appreciate, I would say you'll appreciate it more because you will definitely understand where they're coming from when the part comes in where they actually go to these other countries and are interacting with local people. So I think you'll really appreciate that, and it might even remind you of when you were on your trips and stuff like that. But for those people who have never gone out the country, this is still an excellent book because, like I said, it touches base on so many different things. And, you know, like the rich and the poor thing. Like, there's no difference between, you know, somebody who's living in the projects and somebody who's, you know, living on the Upper East Side, or you know, somebody who's living in, you know, Hollywood, Beverly Hills. There's just no difference, you know, no difference at all. And, you know, most people are going to say, hell yeah, there's a difference. You know, I'm poor, I'm struggling, and I'm, you know, on assistance, got food stamps, and they live in fancy, driving, you know, got drivers and flying first class and stuff like that. And, you know, they got all this material stuff. So yeah, you know, to most people are going to be like, yeah, there is a difference. And yeah, you are right. But at the end of the day, after you read this book, you will understand that no, there's no difference between you two. There's no difference at all. Not at all. And I'm not going to continue going. There's just so much about this book that I love. And I really, really do love it. But I'm going to close with this. Just a personal thing, okay? I got to a point where and honestly, this is a true story. I got to a point where in my life, which I'm still young, but still, I got to a point where I wouldn't say it was being arrogant, But I did get to a point where I felt like, and don't get me wrong, I still believe in people are where they choose to be, okay? Because we do have choices. However, I did get to a point where I felt like somebody who doesn't have it, a person who didn't have as much as I had, couldn't possibly be happy. And I got to a point where I felt like those who didn't really have much could never be happy. And it was arrogant, it was selfish, foolish, okay? Because like this book teaches us that what happiness is to me is not happiness to somebody else. And so, you know, when I'm socializing with people and I'm just thinking like, you know, I don't understand how you could be happy, you know, living like this or doing this. For example, one of my close friends, okay? One of my close friends, she doesn't want to have a lavish lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, she wants her happiness. She wants to have a husband. She wants to have a family. She doesn't care about working corporate. She doesn't care about owning her own business. She wants to live very basic, meaning that her happiness means family. Like she wants, like I said, she wants to have a husband. She wants to have kids. She wants to, you know, her vision of happiness is working 9 to 5, or, you know, she's at home with the kids and it's, you know, 5:30 and her husband walks through the door and, you know, she has dinner ready for him, and, you know, she's happy to see him, and, you know, they go on family vacations when the kids are, you know, out of school on vacation and stuff. And I'm sitting there looking at her like, this is crazy. That's not happiness. That's foolish. Like, don't you want a job? Like, you want to stay at home with the kids? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, so you want to be a stay-at-home mom? Like, and then I said, oh, okay, I got it. You want to stay at home with kids, but you're going to still have like a home-based business or something, or go back like to school, right? And she's like, no. And she's like, I'm thinking about, you know, I'll probably like maybe do some, you know, take care of other people's kids in the home and stuff. She's like, that's like a business you should get money for. And I'm like, so you just want to have a bunch of kids in your house, like forever, like until they're like older? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, and then she wants at least to have 4 kids. I said, 4? I thought she was crazy. I mean, when she told me that that's what she wants out of life and that's what would make her happy, I was like, I need to get your mind out of that, you know, mindset, because that's not happiness, honey. Like, that is sad. And she was like, that's not sad. And she's like, and I looked and said, I'm like, yeah, it is. And because the reason being is because for me, you know, happiness is having money to do whatever the hell you want. Happiness is, you know, me and my husband deciding we don't want to stay here for the weekend. Let's just go someplace else and, you know, get a hotel and hang out, regardless of, you know, what it costs. If the, you know, and I'm one of those people, I don't stay at motels. I got to stay at a nice hotel. In the story, okay? There's certain hotels I won't stay at. That's just me. Don't judge me. But if the hotel costs $200, $300 a night, so be it. But, you know, whatever. And so for me, you know, that's happiness, being able to just, you know, go whenever we want, or, you know, drive around, try new places to eat. You know, if we want to eat at a 5-star restaurant, we don't have to save for it. Just go eat at the 5-star restaurant. Whatever. It's not like we do it every day. But, you know, we want to try it out, go ahead. That's happiness, you know, building my businesses, you know, and, you know, meeting, networking with people, growing my businesses, you know, watching my bank account go ching, 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 ching. That makes me happy, you know, being able to go into a store and, you know, pick up stuff and, you know, don't get me wrong, I am kind of cheap, so I always do look at the price tag, okay? But, not having to worry, if I buy this, will I miss, will I be able to pay my bill? Or, you know, I have enough money to cover this or cover that or whatever. To me, that's happiness, not having to live paycheck to paycheck, you know, being in a career that I love, owning my own businesses and being my own boss. Like, I'm not the type of woman that's you gonna come home to a meal, like, unless it's your birthday or I just feel like it, and I'm not the best cook anyway. But, for me, that's not happiness. Staying home with 4 kids? Seriously? That's not happiness. To me, that's torture and hell. But that's me. You get what I'm saying? And so, like this book pretty much, shows you what's, happiness to one person is not happiness to the next person. Her life is definitely not happiness in my eyes. But I have to respect her because that's what makes her happy. It doesn't make her, it doesn't mean that she's less than. It doesn't mean that, she's, worthless, or it doesn't mean that, she's a fool. It doesn't mean that she's a fool. She's right where she should be. And where she should be is where she wants to be. Where she should be is, where she should be is the effort, all the effort that she put in to get to the place that she actually wants to be. That's where she should be. And if that's what she wants and that's what makes her happy, then her life is fulfilled. That's what fulfills her. For me, like I said, I'm fulfilled. However, I respect her because my life will never be that fulfilled, because I'll always be wanting more and more and more. And when you have that mindset of wanting more and more and constantly wanting to build and build and get more and more, you're never fulfilled because you're always seeking more. You're always wanting more. You're always stressing yourself out and working hard to get more. And so that's not, even though that's what makes me happy, that's not happiness, because you're never truly happy. And so, like I said, it just, it makes you realize that, we tell people just because you live a certain way, just because you may not live in the best home, or, you may not, make a certain amount of money, that doesn't mean that the people are not happy. I know tons of people that's happy. Happy. Okay? There's people who lived in the projects for all their life, old people, and they are extremely happy. They could have moved out. They could have bought a house and stuff like that, but they didn't, because they were happy where they were. They had everything they need. They had family. They had friends. They can go outside and they knew everybody, so they could talk to everybody. It's, like I said, they knew everybody. They had a roof over their head. They had food. They were happy right where they are. So who are we to tell them that, because you don't have this or have that, you're unhappy or you're not worth this or that? It just makes you think about a lot of stuff. And, I'm really glad that I read this book, because I really started reading this book with one mindset, and that was the title, There Are No Fools Where We Are Where We Should Be. I thought it was all about, like, career choices. I honestly did. And that's why I was like, oh, I'm going to like this. But this book just kind of opens you up to everything. It makes you question everything. And at the end of the book ends with, like, a question. It makes you think, like, you sit there like, well, damn, am I where I should be? I don't know. Am I where I want to be? Like, it just makes you, ask yourself so many questions. Does this really make me happy? This book, it has you asking yourself questions. But it also makes you realize that, like I told you, I was arrogant to a point. I was very arrogant. I had that crazy mindset, and it took for me to, have a talk with my friend and just realize, like, this crazy person is talking about stuff like that makes her happy, like being a stay-at-home wife and mom. But who am I to judge? Like, I mean, her saying that made me, question myself. Like, seriously? Are there people out there like that? So, but anyway, I could talk about this all day. The book. I want to talk about the book, but I don't want to give the book away. And I have a habit of, which is why I went off topic, but everything that I'm pretty much talking about is what the book has touched base on. And, honestly, like, if I was in a book club, I would be very active in it if I had to read this book, because, I mean, there's just so much to talk about. It's just, like, endless. And then, I mean, you read this book, and a friend of mine, she actually purchased the book, like, around the time that I had got the, the promotion, and she was like, we're gonna have, like, such a debate. And I was like, oh, trust me, I know. This book, if you're somebody who loves to debate about things, and, this is one of those books that you definitely read with your friends and have a debate about, because everybody has their own opinion on stuff as well. So it just opens up a lot of topics and stuff like that's just really interesting. So anyway, I'm not gonna keep going, because you guys are probably like, okay, we got the point. We're gonna get the book. I hope you're gonna get the book. I think you'd like it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it depends on what people, of course, like to read. I mean, this book might be boring to some of you. You guys might be like, I'm mad she had us buying this book. This book is stupid. I mean, each its own. But for those of you guys who like educational books, and, books that kind of make you think and question, make you question yourself and things you do in life, this is definitely the book for you. So anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. And I'm going to go because, to be honest with you, I think I'm tired of talking, honestly, and it's usually not like me, so it's been a long day, but I'm really glad. I like this book, finished it, highly recommend it. I know it's on Kindle. I don't know if you can buy it on paperback. I don't think so. Kindle edition. I'm assuming that you can buy it on paperback. I'm just not sure. I honestly, even though I have it on Kindle and it was free, I really think if I find it paperback, I'm gonna buy it. I still buy regular books. I don't really like reading books on the computer screens and stuff. I don't know why, but it's not my thing. I like reading actual books. So, but anyway, yeah. So that's my review on the book. There Are No Fools. Why We Are Where We Should Be by Hillel Lerman. So, yeah, I mean, if you guys have any other questions, you want to debate with me about something I said, please don't. I hate debates. I hate getting into debates, because I get really heated and then I start going, like, don't do it. Don't do it. So, but anyway, if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to ask me, and there will be a link in the bottom to go ahead and purchase the book and everything. So, anyway, yeah. Will I be doing another book review? I don't know. Maybe if a book like this comes along, I will. So, these are the only type of books, educational, biography, all that stuff. Those are the only books that I'm going to be doing a review on. Didn't I do another I'm crazy. I think I did do a review on another book. No, I think it was just a cook. I don't remember. Anyway, I did, but I think it wasn't like a regular book. I think it was like a cookbook or something. I don't remember. But anyway, so yeah, that's the end of my review. I'm going now, honestly. But anyway, so thank you guys for listening to me for 45 minutes rambling on. So anyway, but thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.